If you
Cool.
can give us a little bit professional background on where you came from and how you became the one who writes things people screenshot, which is an amazing tagline.
Thank you. um, so, where do I come from? So I geographically come from California originally. Um, I am currently on the East Coast in Philadelphia, and professionally, I come from sort of a, I guess, not typical background for somebody who is in marketing and copywriting. I have been a musician for like my whole life, essentially, and still very much am a musician. And yeah, I got into copywriting in sort of a unexpected way. I have always loved to write. I've been just like a big reader, uh, and just enjoy writing as just kind of a um, hobby, I guess, but never did it in any kind of professional sense. But was always kind of curious in the back of my mind as maybe that could be something I could pursue in some way, shape, or form one day. And then when I was working on a website for myself for teaching piano lessons, I kind of realized that I actually enjoyed writing all of my own copy and kind of thinking through how to position myself, how to kind of set myself apart from other local music teachers in the area. And that kind of got my brain thinking and kind of on this path of, well, if I like writing this stuff for myself, then maybe I could like writing it for other people. And um, ended up taking kind of a online course in copywriting, which was kind of just a great way to just have some structure with putting together a portfolio and a new website for myself, and kind of reached out to a bunch of people that I knew peripherally, like friends of friends who did this kind of work. And over the past year and a half or so, I've kind of been gradually picking up lots of different types of freelance work. Uh, and that's me in a nutshell.
Where are you originally from in California?
I am from the Bay Area, from Berkeley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I went to school in San Francisco and grew up in Bakersfield, so I was just
Oh,
curious.
nice. Okay, cool.
Well, Bakersfield's not nice, but San Francisco
I
is.
I don't know. Bakersfield School. I played some really interesting gigs in Bakersfield. So yeah, I have some kind of good memories actually of being in Bakersfield. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few unique musical acts before they got big that came through Bakersfield, and
Yeah.
um, what's the pizza shop? I think it's called Jerry's, where it's like one of the only basements that I know of in Bakersfield, where and they have, I think, like 300 people can fit in that basement, and I think Weezer
Hmm.
performed there.
Oh wow. Cool.
So yeah, it's like the origin for a lot of great. I'm not saying they're from Bakersfield, except for Corn is. Um,
Oh really? I
unless you
didn't
want to
even know
argue,
that.
unless you want to argue, I got an argument one time with a guy in a airport shuttle that wanted to argue that Corn was from Fresno and not Bakersfield. And the funny thing is, my cousin grew up next to one of the Corn guys, and I was just like, "There's
Wow.
no way, man! Like I like sort of know one of them. It's not possible." But anyways, tangents. Um,
Interesting.
when did you start taking LinkedIn seriously? Because I think we talked about this in DMs, but you haven't been on there that long, right?
No, I joined LinkedIn. It's been less than a year still. I think I can't remember the exact. I want to say it was like late June, kind of early July of last summer that I joined and kind of started to post. And then kind of as I think as the summer went on, I kind of got more into the habit of posting regularly. But yeah, I had never experienced LinkedIn in any way prior to that. I got on there and I was sort of just like, what even is this? And yeah, it's been like a really interesting experience. I would never have expected to meet a lot of cool people on LinkedIn. Uh, but yeah, initially it was kind of like a sort of just a bizarre world that I didn't really understand, and I think the way I was able to sort of find my footing on there was just initially by like being sort of repulsed by a lot of people's kind of self-congratulatory performative things that they would write on there, and I think got just kind of so irritated with it that I just started parroting it, and then was surprised to discover that people actually enjoyed reading my parodies. So
For people who don't know anything about your style, how would you describe your I guess approach and strategy to LinkedIn? If you can sort of like give or maybe like run through like how you come up with your ideas, because I mean your posts are very unique. I don't even know how to explain them. Like you just sort of have to see them because there's a visual element usually, and it's like I could never guess what your next post is going to be because it's kind of so absurd sometimes that I have no idea. Like, where does he come up with this stuff? So, is there? I mean, it's like, what's going on in your brain when you're thinking of LinkedIn?
yeah, good question. I mean, I sometimes feel similar in the sense that I don't really know what I'm going to post next. I don't have I guess unlike some people, I don't have a lot of things kind of planned in advance. I'm sort of riding by the seat of my pants with it. So I feel like on a good week, I might have like one or two days worth of ideas in advance of the coming of whatever I'm about to post. But generally, I try and keep it spontaneous. So sometimes that can be just logging on and seeing somebody else's post and getting an idea from that. Other times it can be just expressing something that's going on in my own life in one way or another. But I think for me, it feels the most fun when I feel like I'm able to, I don't know, as silly as the things are that I write, I feel like they're always based in some type of like real feeling that I'm having at the moment, and that's been kind of a fun creative challenge, just to figure out how I can take a feeling that I'm having and express it in a way that means something to somebody else.
Would you would you say it's kind of like experiment the same way you experiment probably with music? I know nothing about making music or playing or any instrument, but is it experimenting and just like going with whatever sort of hits you in the moment and then just putting the publishing the or hitting the post button and be like, does this resonate? I mean, is it kind of just each one is its own experiment in a way?
Yeah, definitely experimenting. I am uh, kind of overly obsessive with editing things. So I don't necessarily just write something and post it without thinking about it. I do um, tend to write something and then kind of put it down and come back maybe later that day and revise it. And then often I'll post something and then think of even more ideas after I post it and then go back and edit it further. Sometimes I feel like it's a fine line between over editing something, but it's Yeah, it's been an interesting way to kind of get kind of immediate feedback on an idea. I feel like social media is such a bizarre beast, but unlike other types of copywriting, I think one thing that's actually cool about it is like when you post something, you are getting like concrete feedback on whether it got people's attention, which you can't always get. I mean, you can, you know, get click through rates on emails and stuff like that, but it's not quite the same thing because you're not getting um, immediate reactions and comments. And so that can be kind of a cool way of just getting a sense of like what actually connects with people.
Have you figured out a way to know if a post is gonna do way better than like your averages in the first hour or the first day? Is
Hmm.
there like an impression count that you've seen that you're like, oh, this one's gonna take off? Um, c-
No, I mean, I think my best barometer of whether I know something is going to do well is if uh, sometimes I'll write something and it will, I'll describe it to my wife and start laughing as I tell her. And I think if I feel like something is like makes me crack up as I'm talking about it or thinking about it, then that usually seems to do well. Um, I think it's the ones where I feel like I think like if I have like a concrete kind of singular idea that I'm trying to express in a post, I feel like that usually does better than something where it feels like I am working with sort of nothing and trying really hard to like extract some sort of joke or idea from something that ultimately isn't really anything, if that makes sense.
yeah, I feel like the ones that I put the most effort in are the ones that do the worst. You
Yeah,
gotta like find a sweet
totally.
spot, like some really like aha moment comes and you spend 10-15 minutes writing it out and you adjust it a couple times and then you just leave it. Those ones
Hmm.
do well. It's the ones where it's like I spent 3 days trying to make this masterpiece, over 3 days, not like
Yes.
full three
Yeah.
days and then you're like, oh cool, 100
Yeah.
impressions,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
worth my time.
Yeah. Brutal.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough out
Yeah.
there in the
Yeah.
LinkedIn pool.
Yeah.
Um, your ones with visual elements. I mean, the stuff you're doing, I almost would consider you like a visual artist at this point. Like some of the stuff I see you I mean, I know it's silly, but
Thank you.
like it gets your attention. It definitely stands out in the feed. When you're using a photo, I guess, are you thinking of text first? Are you thinking photo first? Or are you thinking both in a combination? Like one's a visual hook, one's a text hook, and by doing both, I'm like, doubling my chances that this will hit. Or what's your logic with that?
Yeah, I think when I first started, I was definitely much more text. And the visual element has been kind of more of like a recent progression. Partly just because I've like gone bonkers with fake AI photos. And that has been, yeah. So with those, I often start with, well, I guess if I'm being honest, not always. Sometimes I start with the picture. I don't know. This is sort of like a non-answer to your question. Sometimes one, sometimes the other. Uh, it can be kind of a fun challenge. Like if I make some sort of picture that I find funny, to think of like how I would write about that. Um, uh, and vice versa. I think there are times where I've written something and realized that it would, I think, hit much. I hate that word hit, but I just used it. Um, it would hit much better if I had some kind of visual element that catches people's eyes. So yeah, I don't know. Social media is so weird. I I feel like I have a love hate relationship with
Oh
with
yeah.
uh, with social media in general, and LinkedIn has been like a, I don't know, weird like revision to my feeling on, like, before LinkedIn, I really just wholeheartedly kind of hated, Facebook and Instagram, and found myself like everybody else just wasting lots of time on it and feeling kind of gross afterwards. And LinkedIn has been this like bizarre thing where I feel like that's sort of gotten flipped on its head, where I still am wasting lots of time on there, but it does have the potential to lead to real work. And it also strangely has the potential to like give me connections with people that are actually cool and interesting. And if anything, I feel like I've met way more new people on LinkedIn than I ever did on any other platform. So that has been a nice surprise. So yeah.
Yeah, I think most people don't realize the power of LinkedIn. I know this sounds like we're in a cult or something, but it's like once you go deep enough and you start learning how to use LinkedIn, not just, hey, I got a new job, or hey, I'm looking for a job, and you use it as a way to reach out and have authentic conversations. And I mean, you can be selling stuff, but you can also just like trying to build your network with cool people that are doing something unique, like the way you do your posts. That's why I reached out originally. Or, just
Sure.
like there's a common thread. Like I spoke to another ghostwriter. He recently moved to Spain, and I have that expat, like just wanted to talk to him about that. But there's endless opportunities of people that you can reach out to. And because LinkedIn is, it's not full of spam and trolls, and there's the professional element, so people sort of take it more serious. It
Mm-hmm.
really can. I mean, it can change your life. I've seen many people, and in a small amount of time, saying how, a year ago I was unemployed or lost my job, and I went all in on LinkedIn and figured out my offer, or my new thing, and it's blown up. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think so many people are still not convinced, and they just think this, what you said earlier, is it's just another social media that's going to waste your time.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it can, but if you actually use it as a tool, it's game changing. Um,
Agreed.
how, how did you get mentioned? Or I guess this is better. What post got you mentioned 3 times on LinkedIn Lunatics?
Ah.
Or maybe
Well,
just one of them. It doesn't have
yeah,
to be all
yeah.
three.
So, I mean, 2 times were actually the same post. Uh, and the other time was writing. So I posted a picture of myself enhanced by artificial intelligence to have very large muscles, and um, wearing no shirt, but wearing a Patagonia vest, and standing in a mall taking a picture of myself. And I wrote I can't remember exactly, something about just being authentic and vulnerable, which I both of those words, I cannot count the number of times I've read myself on LinkedIn. And what was really funny was somebody took that and put it on this thread, LinkedIn Lunatics, where people kind of tear people's posts apart and make fun of them. But the joke was that no one on that thread seemed to understand that this was a joke. Um, and it kind of made my day, honestly, because just reading people's responses to my kind of fake attempt at vulnerability was really funny. Um, but yeah, that was LinkedIn Lunatics is like a whole nother bizarre world, because I also wrote another joke that didn't have an image, or I think the image was just a kind of text exchange with my wife that was very clearly a joke. And I think more people like were able to understand that it was a joke on that Reddit thread, but there were still people who like didn't quite get it. So maybe my joke wasn't. I don't know. It could be a reflection on just my joke not being funny enough, but um, it at least got people's attention. So I guess I'll count that as a win. So yeah,
Those posts are the best when they don't get the joke. That's
yeah,
that's when you like to me that's the biggest payoff.
it's the ultimate.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen many people who have way bigger followers than me, who write really amazing consistently day after day, but they every once in a while, I think just to like boost their ego or their impressions, they'll do a little rage baiting with their posts,
Mm, yeah.
and make really absurd statements. And it kind of blows my mind how many people sort of fall for it.
Yeah.
Because to me it's so obvious, and it's like when I see one of those posts, I'm like, this is totally just they know this is going to be somewhat viral because there's enough, I hate to say it, dummies out there that like
Hmm.
just a reading on the surface level. So I did a post around Super Bowl. I said how much I hate sports and how like all sports suck.
Nice.
And I
Yeah.
knew around Super Bowl it's gonna like enrage so many people.
Yeah.
And the amount of people who are like arguing with me in the comments, and it's like, this is exactly what I wanted, man. Like you don't
Yeah.
get it. So I think LinkedIn's a little late to the trolling. Like they don't realize when they're being trolled in a post,
Hmm.
unlike other social media. So it is great
Yeah.
for that. Um, you hit on something that I want to, there's one of my points actually is it seems like everyone, all these LinkedIn gurus and everyone is realizing like you can't use AI to write your post. You'll never have any luck when you do that, of course, because it's
Hmm.
just garbage. The other thing that everyone's is saying to do is be authentic, be your authentic self,
Yeah.
and how I statements.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my question is, and you've maybe have thought about this deeper, or maybe not, but if everyone catches on to that, and then all of the feed becomes that, and
Hmm.
then there's AI slop, what's the next thing? What is the next thing to keep us human? Like,
Yeah.
does it just turn into this garbage dump of post where everyone's just how survive this, or how I got a job, and then it all just becomes this so much sameness that will
Hmm.
make so many people, I think, leave the platform. So my worry is, I guess too many people will catch on what's working, and then it will, I don't know what it evolves to. Have you had any thinking about that?
Yeah, I've definitely thought about that. I mean, to talk about just the question of being authentic or not on social media, I think there are maybe exceptions certainly to this, but my feeling with being authentic on LinkedIn or any social media platform is um, that by posting on social media that is inherently inauthentic. I feel like you can't um, take out the performative element of what you're doing when you're writing something on LinkedIn. And I think for me, it's been fun to kind of play around with that uh, contradiction, I guess. So I think there's something about like people just get so there's such a like amount of seriousness that I find funny on LinkedIn. People are so worked up over their position, and I think for me, just pushing back on that seriousness has been a way to ultimately, and now I'm going to sound like a total hypocrite, but be like authentic to who I am, because I find that uh, the way I feel like I'm able to be the most authentic is by just being true to my feeling of all of this is a big performance, and like if it's not, if you don't see it as some kind of performance, maybe you're fooling yourself. in some way.
Yes, I agree. And I'm just realizing as you're talking to me, I think I've been frozen. So that's
That's
once
okay.
again, once again, at least we got your part and my audio.
Yeah.
I'm going to call out Riverside for the second time in a podcast. This is the second time I've had issues with this platform, and I'm about to go all Karen on them, on their
Yeah.
support, because I don't know what is going on. Anyways, that was great. The one last thing I wanted to ask you was if someone wants to get better at LinkedIn and not necessarily go down your style of posting, which I think most people would struggle to do because most people are not good at being funny in person, and then to do it in writing form is even more difficult. But if someone just wants to improve or get a better understanding of what good copy is, do you have
Mhm.
a book or a recommendation that they could seek out?
Mm. Uh, no, I don't have any any copywriting books that I can recommend because I will be honest, I have not read any copywriting books. And maybe that makes me a terrible copywriter, but I would say seek out real, uh, or maybe real is a loaded word, but seek out art. I ultimately, my kind of perspective and background is from like a kind of, you know, from a music background and from a love of fiction, a love of movies, a love of other podcasts, conversations. I think I would seek out writing that you love, and I think the elements of a good writer um, can certainly apply to writing on LinkedIn. I mean, it's sort of a funny thing to imagine like a I don't know, a novelist writing on LinkedIn, but I think I personally would rather read something that is just well written and thoughtful and interesting, and versus something that sort of conforms to some sort of algorithmic like gaming of the system. Um, so that would be my advice.
I agree with that, and I think it definitely shows in your posts because you're being authentically you, and you're not being influenced by some copyright mastermind telling you what to
Yeah,
do, and then it comes off as real. That was great. Do you want to plug your website, or should people just reach out to you through LinkedIn? Or
sure. Yeah. So my website is bigbrowcreative.com. And then, yes, people can find me on LinkedIn. And I have, I need to, I think, update. I don't have anything about my LinkedIn on my website because I made it before I joined LinkedIn. And, but if you're interested in what I do on LinkedIn, then you can follow me there and see what I'm writing.
awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, and we will find out when I froze in
Okay.
the near future.
Cool. Thank you so
um,
much for having me.
yeah, have a good day, and I'll talk to you again soon.